Welcome. We have a really interesting guest today. I know I say that every time, and I know I say that every time, so I'm just going to stop saying it altogether. So it is a little different today, though. We're going to have somebody on that I'm going to introduce you guys to that you probably aren't aware is even a thing out there. So, and he's a really good thing. So Merrill Chandler, for over the last 25 years, has been a personal and business credit pioneer and a co-founder of the Lexington Law Firm. When he was there, or when he co-founded it, he became dissatisfied with the ineffective results of credit repair. He's leveraging his extensive knowledge, I can't talk today, of credit profiles and lender underwriting requirements. And in this process, he developed how he could optimize personal and business credit profiles and improve borrowers' fundability. He founded Credit Sense to deliver this revolutionary technology to real estate investors, business owners, and entrepreneurs nationwide. Merrill has helped thousands of borrowers become more fundable and help them access the capital they need to fulfill their financial dreams. In 2016, he and his executive team met with FICO. Did any of us even know that was a real thing other than we had a FICO score? He met with the FICO CEO, Will Lansing, to review the impact of Credit Sense's optimization technology was having on borrower fundability. As a result of that meeting, Merrill was authorized to meet with the personal and business FICO score development teams. After signing an NDA, Merrill was able to ask the questions that he wanted to ask to FICO developers. So he asked 100 optimization questions to better help him help his borrowers accomplish their funding goals. What he shares in his presentations and web classes will radically transform what you believe about funding and your ability to get funding you need to accomplish your funding goals. Through superior client relationships, and believe me when I say he does, superior client relations, Merrill and his team have maintained an A+ Better Business Better rating for over 20 years. Merrill is a compelling and knowledgeable keynote speaker and has addressed real estate investment conferences and business forums around the country where he's delivered his popular fundability optimization technology. He's also adventurous and passionate. Really? You can tell us more about that? And he's into extreme sports and exploring the world. I can see you being into extreme sports. I really can. So welcome.
I am so happy to be here. Seriously, Juliet, this is, first of all, that was a great intro. Whoever this guy is, I love him already. So
Wait, didn't you write that? No.
Yeah, right. I have great marketing teams. No, actually, all of it's true, and not just true, but so much fun, right? So that's why we're here to kind of discuss this whole world of what is fundability. How do we access the resources and financing we need for our businesses, right? So I'm happy to be here.
Well, thank you. I just want to talk, first of all, about this sounds like such a different topic because people don't think about, they think, oh, I want an 800 credit score. And if I apply for something business-wise, I should be able to get anything I want. And then they don't. So explain a little bit about what fundability is and why it's so important.
Sure. So it really is it is the injury to the insult, because so many people we've been trained our whole lives to think of good credit, bad credit, right? I've got good credit, I got bad credit, I got a high score, I got a low score. But nobody talks about fundability. Fundability is the condition of being in position where a lender is eager to give you money, right? There are so many things that are in the way for a lender to be eager to do so. And so I don't care about credit scores. I don't care. A credit score will measure certain things, but most people don't even understand that a credit score is like third or fourth in line when it comes to approving you. You can have it. We have clients all the time that come to us with 800 plus credit scores, and they can't get a dime in funding, and they don't realize that the score is, no one on the planet has ever been approved because of their credit score. Credit score is in charge of the limit or the loan amount. It's in charge of the rates and terms, but it has never approved you, ever. Lender underwriting software has approved you. So Fundability is doing the dance of making you look like so that a lender is eager to lend to you. What we call a funding ready credit profile.
So let's back up there a minute, because I bet most people don't realize that it's actually software that's determining all this. They're probably thinking,
Right?
some guy sitting in a cubicle going, I don't like her name, she's not getting it.
Yeah. Well, I used to ask the question, has anybody ever met an underwriter in the wild, right? They're on the endangered species list because automatic underwriting systems are replacing those people in the cubicle who are actually looking at whether or not to approve you. So these underwriting systems, like this whole Apple and this whole brouhaha of the Apple credit card with who's the organization, damn, it was just in the news about bias in lending, and the algorithms are biased going against you. All of everything is moving to software approvals. Here's the secret, Juliet. For 500 years, lenders have required proof documents. We call it full documentation, right? They want your taxes and your income statements and your W-2s, everything, right? That full documentation is required because they want to prove everything you put on your application, because they don't believe you. They don't trust you, and so they want proof. Well, over the last 10 years, more and more of this what we call approval authority, right? The authority to approve an application has moved to software. And the funny thing is, and my whole mission is that if software is following rules to approve you, then if you know what those rules are, if you know the behaviors you need to have, then who is really in charge of your approvals? The borrowers.
So that's so interesting when you say that bias, because one of the things that stood out for you guys who don't know, I am working with Merrill because I decided that I want to get stuff off my personal credit cards. One of the biases I would imagine the software has with women is our name change. I was stunned to see on my credit reports that I have, like, I think it was 11 different ways my name appears between married name, first name, middle name,
Yes.
maiden name. It's incredible. And that's all part of the matchup, isn't it?
Yes, and the thing is that while the software is designed to kind of collate all those, we're now data points, right? We're literally the credit bureau and FICO's data. So if you have 11 of them. Before I knew what I was doing, I was filing credit applications under Merrill Chandler, Merrill R. Chandler, Merrill Ray Chandler. Those are all 3 different identity data sets. So they don't know who they're lending to, and you can be denied because they don't know exactly the borrower that they're lending money to. If you have too many versions of your name and you have too many addresses, and real estate investors have this all the time. The people who buy rental properties, all these mortgages are in their names currently, so it looks like they're living at this same address at every single property. So all of these things come into sway when the lender software is evaluating you. Unless you know the rules of that game, you're going to either be rejected or you're going to get lower limits, lower approvals, because they don't know exactly who they're lending to, and therefore they want to give you a test limit instead of a $50,000 business line of credit to help you grow your business.
Interesting. So a few more credit profile identities and I could be Sybil. That's exciting.
Yes, that is we call it the credit identity crisis.
There you
right?
go.
The multiple identities of credit.
And we were just talking about aging, so maybe it's time that I went through that, I guess.
Yeah, I know. Yes. Well, but the whole idea is to present to this automatic, because I can't even call them lenders anymore, to present to this lending software a perfect identity, a perfect set of behaviors that reinforces all the things that make a lender feel safe. All those have been coded into their software. And if I can make the lender look at my borrower behaviors and go, whoa, yes, that's awesome, then they will lend to me. Because lenders, what everybody tends to forget is that lenders only make money when they lend. They're just trying to lend safely. Well, if we facilitate that process, they're going to give us tons of money. And my clients and students can bear witness to that.
Yes, yes, we can. So tell us a little bit about your background. I know he's a slave driver. Tell us a little bit about your background and what makes you uniquely qualified to coach us on this.
Well, first of all, as I said in the intro, I co-founded Lexington Law Firm in 1992. And for those who know, have a friend who's done credit repairs, the single largest credit repair law firm in the country. But while I was there, I discovered that you can't repair your way to fundability, to approvals. Can't do it. So I started to, so I started, so there was this period, and you'll learn about it in my own podcast. There's this period of my life where I had a rare opportunity to do nothing but study. And as I studied, I discovered how optimization of a profile is different than repairing a credit report. And then I was off to the races. So the whole genesis, we find out who we are by who we're not many times, right? We start out, well, I'm not that and I'm not that. Well, I found out that to get approvals, it's not credit repair. And the same thing happened as I grew this. More and more clients had more and more successes. Then I got to meet with the FICO team in 2016, and I've been back there I just got back 2 weeks ago from my third set of meetings at FICO World, where I met once again with the CEO, Will Lansing at FICO. I met with the other vice presidents of scoring and analytics so that I can know what borrower behaviors are going to improve your chances for approvals. Period. That's the bottom line. I know what it takes, the secret sauce, to get people approved. And you're going through that process right now.
Yes, it is. And it's really secret sauce. So I used to sell high-end real estate many years ago. And sometimes we would we would want pre-approval. And there would be a situation where lender would come in and say, you have to pay this, 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 and this, or you have to get this off your report. So there was a lot of credit, sort of on the spot credit repair going on. And then they can pull that instant once it's taken care of, like that instant. What's the difference between that and fundability?
Okay. So credit repair is the process, as you began to describe, of writing dispute letters to the credit bureaus in the hopes that something is removed and that your score goes up. But again, write a letter, hope something comes off, score improves. The problem is that score is the third or fourth most important thing. You can have a great score, but not get money because you don't have the right kind of profile. You have too many inquiries. We call it the things that make you unfundable. Fundable versus unfundable. You can have too young of a credit profile. You can have too many inquiries. You can have too high of balances. You can have the wrong types of profile, too many consumer type accounts like mall store and retail stores, which FICO counts against. Now, don't go close any of them, guys, because you'll take a hit on your profile. But the idea is that fundability is when a lender software reviews your profile and goes, the way they treat their lender's money, the way they behave is safe. I want to lend them money because, there's this period, FICO measures 40 characteristics, plus or minus, depending on the bureau, 40 characteristics over 24 months in intervals of 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, and 24 months. So that's a crap load of data, right? 40 behaviors over 24 months in four different increments. They know how we treat money. If we're carrying a balance for 6 months, they know their math can do that evaluation. And if that's too high of a balance that they're carrying, they're not going to approve us. But if we carry the right balance, then they'll be like, oh, look, 24 months worth of they really know how. They're a great borrower. They know how to treat lenders' money. I want to lend to them too. The thing is, for your audience, entrepreneurs, business owners, etc., that we want to treat our personal credit well, because what people don't know is that business credit is based on your personal reputation. Most people have been led to believe the business credit is about your business, and it's not.
Mm-hmm.
People believe that the approvals are based on your income, your tax bottom line, when it's not. It's the top line of your business, total sales, not what you made, because as Americans, it's in our blood to reduce our tax as much as possible. But people don't know what lenders are actually looking for, and that's why that's why my Get Fundable war cry is designed to teach people what the rules of the game are, because you can't win a game if you don't know the rules.
That's very true. What struck me the most about your boot camp was, and I went back and looked, like I went back and totally verified a lot of this stuff before I got your program. Was how much of a swing you can have between credit bureaus. Like people don't even realize that, and you never really know when you apply for something which one they're going to use.
Right.
And
right.
I mean, you were talking, I don't have that big of a swing, but you were saying some people can have a 60-point swing between bureaus.
Yes. What people don't know is that the difference between your credit bureau scores, the highest and lowest, that range, if it's over 20 points, you're most likely going to be tossed to manual underwriting. You don't want human beings looking at your loan. That it slows it down, and they lower your approval amounts. We want to stay in automatic underwriting. We want to hit those underwriting triggers, right? The other thing, there's a big swing between what people don't know is that there are 3 versions of software, and each bank has different uses of that software. So when you go to a bank for a car loan, you don't know if they're pulling FICO 542 or FICO 8 or FICO 9, and you don't know what bureau they're pulling, Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. You don't know. And so all of a sudden you take a Credit Karma score to them, which is one score, and all of a sudden you're like, why is my score 20 points different than everything else? And why didn't you approve me? Or why didn't I get the best interest rate possible? And there's nothing but confusion and frustration and anxiety about all of this stuff, because we're bumbling around in the dark.
Yes, absolutely. So how do you help people qualify for funding? I mean, I know how you do, but these guys don't.
First of all, 2 years ago, you couldn't, it was only high net worth individuals that I was coaching, right? I reserved all this. We had coaching packages from $5,000 to $25,000. And I didn't have anything to help anybody know anything unless you're becoming a client. And then through the persuasion, sometimes very aggressive persuasion, I needed to write my book, which I just completed. It's going to press here this week. We've already got, so I wrote a book so that I cover the cost of the book, and then people just pay for shipping. Great little partnership. And then you can see what the principles are of fundability, right? They can listen to your podcast. They can listen to my podcast and find out a little bit more, right? So not a lot of heavy investment in those options. And then if you want, like you went to a boot camp and you're like, why didn't I know this stuff literally decades ago?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so my commitment to borrowers across the country was to have something for everyone, something at every trust level and every price point. So someone could just dip their toes in the water and see, whoa, okay, I'm kind of digging this. And then you go to the boot camp. Coaching is still available, but I don't even let anybody get coaching that hasn't been to the boot camp, because you need to know what you need to know in order to get the funding. So that's how we help people become fundable, is educate them, get them to stop stepping on the funding landmines. That's the first one. Just stop blowing yourself up, and then learn the principles that you need to implement on identity, on the quality of your credit profile, on the right limits and balances and all those things. And that's all through all of these, the book and the podcast and the boot camp all provide that. Then if somebody wants coaching, then we got you covered. But now I have something for everybody.
Yeah, which is really great. I will tell you guys, I went through the boot camp back in May, I think. May, and I really thought, oh wow, I can do this. And I actually signed up for the coaching because I have a job and I have a business, but more than anything, I have business credit, and because of using my business on my personal credit cards, the business loan I got was a really bad loan.
Yeah.
So now I'm looking back at, this is the way I can get all that cleaned up and get a better business loan and get all of this stuff off my personal credit as a business owner. To me,
be fundable.
That's
for
exciting.
all the reasons, because less than perfect credit is not the only reason. There are at least 8 reasons that you will be turned down. That's that make you unfundable. In fact, this December boot camp, I've even found I keep telling people I have dozens of clients who have 800 plus credit scores and still have a negative account on their credit profile, and people don't believe me. So my team did the research. I'm putting them up on slides for the next boot camp. I've got 4 examples of people who with 800 plus scores and derogatories who've taken down financing, because you can be fundable. You just got to know what the rules are. It's so fascinating to me. People think, well, I have a bad credit score or I have a good credit score. You don't know what you have because you're not looking at it through the eyes that a lender underwriting software looks at it.
Exactly. And even for me, I have personal credit cards I just use for business, and personal that I use for personal. And the way that I pay the business ones always makes it look like I have I do sort of have a huge balance right now, but it makes it look worse.
But now you've learned how we debt shift, right? We know how to manage our personal profile, so all the lenders look at us, go, wow, these guys are superstars. And then we know how to how to build and keep those things on the business that don't report to the personal. So you have a little funding engine over here on your personal, right? It's just churning away and churning away. And then we carry our balances and do our things on the business side. It's all magic. Well, a flashlight to the medieval world looks like magic, but it's not. It's just science we're not aware of yet. That's what these funding algorithms are. And I'm the Merlin the magician who's literally saying, by the way, it's not magic. We just got to know how it works.
Okay, I want to see you at your next boot camp in a Merlin costume.
I'll come in there with my cone and my big stars and moons on my cloak, right?
There you go. So you've spent time with FICO CEO, Will Lansing.
Yes, twice now.
What? Oh, twice. Well, no.
2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks ago, I got to meet with him again, and we took pictures because I didn't have a lot of pictures from the first time we met, and he remembered me, and we reviewed the topic of conversation 2 weeks ago was, what is your borrower education strategy? And every single time I ask that question, first of all, they're thrilled that we're training borrowers, but they're a little embarrassed. I put this in the last chapter of my book. They're a little embarrassed that they don't have a borrower education strategy. Lenders don't have a borrower education strategy. Their complete and utter education piece is pay your bills on time. If you're late, make it up and then wait 7 years. That is their education. You saw a 2-day boot camp that doesn't even cover a tenth of what the principles of fundability. And yet I'm going this level of energy and flow of information for 16 hours, right? I mean, it's crazy what we can be educated on. And so FICO, Mr. I don't know whether to call him Will or Mr. Lansing, right? But Mr. Lansing has told me that the myfico.com credit boards is the only consumer education and borrower education that they have. And here's what's hilarious. Not funny, it's tragic, but I'd rather laugh than cry. There's not a single contributor on the FICO credit boards that is an employee of FICO. And so they that in an official capacity to train and answer questions, not one. And he received it well, but I said, but there, I talked to Mr. Lansing about that, and I said, we want to do whatever we can to provide the borrower education. That's why we keep coming back here, so that we can keep dialed in. We're the only borrower facing organization that goes to FICO. So everybody else are lenders, right? And underwriters.
That's crazy. So you have a very popular group over on Facebook. Can anybody be a member, or do they
Yeah.
have to be?
Yeah. So Funding Hackers is our private Facebook group. And this is White Hack. This is White Hack. White Hat funding hacking, right? This is not black hat. We're not trying to crash the systems. We hack, to us, is an insider secret. It's something that if you had my background and connected all the dots that I did, you would know the same stuff I do. It's not hidden, but I do go do the research at FICO. I go talk to the score development teams. I ask them questions. I signed an NDA so that they could entrust me with certain key points that will help borrowers become more fundable, because they love the fact that we help borrowers become more fundable. That's why that's why we keep getting to go back, right? They could ban us, but if we weren't doing something in their benefit, we've been told to not go. So Funding Hackers Facebook group is for everybody who has attended the boot camp. It's kind of our little enclave of people who are committed to becoming fundable. And so the way you join is you register for the boot camp, and there are 3 levels of registration. 2 of them allow you access to the boot camp for as long as you want to be a member.
Very good. So how do we find your page to sign up for your boot camp?
Okay.
Do you have it up right now? Because you just had one.
Yes. So we have a so our page is u.getfundable.com, right? u.getfundable.com will take you. Now at the top, there's a 5-minute webinar that's me just kind of giving you the outline of what you get at the boot camp. Then if you scroll down a little further, there's an hour and change, full blown. I reveal the 3 secrets of fundability. I talk about the boot camp in depth and all the things you get. Plus, there's tons of information. Our testimonials are crazy. We have literally dozens and dozens of amazing people who attended who are like, are you kidding me? This was the greatest thing since sliced bread. So so you can see all of those, but u.getfundable.com.
Great. And you guys, the boot camp is, day 1, I walked away going, man.
Are you kidding? But yeah.
Yeah.
Now, and let me tell your listeners that I have a money back guarantee that says if you go to the first day and you attended the first day and you are not blown away, not just like, okay, that was cool. Like, if you are not blown away, I'll give you your money back.
That's very cool.
I don't let you go to the second day, but I let you. I will give you your money back if you do not believe that it was worth 10 times every penny that you paid. And they're literally our event specials. It's like $97. It goes all the way to $500, depending on what you want to. All the different benefits and recordings and special time with me. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things that you can look, various levels of ticket registrations. But whatever one you grab, guys, it's worth every freaking penny with how much we cover. And you get a 200-page workbook, and I mean, it's outrageous.
You do. So speaking of books, you have a book coming out soon.
I do. It's called The New F Word. And this last weekend, I finished after we finished this podcast, I'm literally meeting with my team to review the chapter titles so that they are not, I wrote them down because I'm going through the book. It's 200 pages, right? 195 pages. And I'm just going back and forth. I need to be able to see the content. So it's literally like the scientific version of the title. We're going through and titling them so that it's fun and easy to remember for the reader. So It's done. I'm so happy with it. I'm really pleased. So it's called The New F Word, and you go to getfundable.com and click the button. Oh, the other one, by the way, is you can also go to getfundable.com and click the Bootcamp if you want information there.
Okay.
Getfundable.com, Bootcamp, getfundable.com, Merrill's book, I think is what it's called. Click on the Merrill's book, check it out. I cover the cost. It's free to you. I'm not charging you a dime. If you'll just cover the shipping, then we will get a bunch for Christmas once you see it. And I was told a long time ago, it's not arrogant if it's true. So I have spent an entire year, like every single weekend for the last year, imbuing this book with the things you need to know how this game is played.
I'm sorry. And I can tell you, Merrill doesn't sleep because he emails me at 5 o'clock in the morning. This Saturday morning, I felt guilty that I slept until 6:15.
No, you're a soldier. The weekends are my most fun. You guys all know this. If you find something that you love and make a vocation of it, you will never work a day in your life. Well, that's me. I love this stuff. So working on a weekend is not a thing for me, right? I don't go all day, but I'm certainly up super early because nobody's bugging me. I don't have to answer. I don't have to talk to a soul. I'm just there with my coffee and my music, and I just get to rage on all my projects. And this book has been the project that has taken up every moment of my time, just because I wanted to make it so it stood on its own, right? Start to finish. It's like, boom, drop the mic. And I think mission accomplished. You guys will have to tell me, but I think mission accomplished.
Yeah, he did a really good job on it. And well, actually, Merrill and I both live in Salt Lake too. So now that it snows, I'll work from bed on Saturday and Sunday morning.
Right.
I can't go out running and surf, paddleboarding.
Truly.
Well, thank you very much. This has been really great. We know where to find you. You guys can find those links down in the article below. And I would recommend you sign up for that next boot camp and get the book. We should have the book published by sometime in January, I think, by the time we get all the proofs and stuff done. So
I'm excited. This is gonna. But you can pre-order right now, and everybody who pre-orders gets I get to sign them all off and make sure that you guys have everything that a personal invitation to enjoy it.
So I'm going to give Merrill, my client, the hint about how to sign books right while we're on here. So go buy yourself a Sharpie, because you never want to do it in pen. So buy a thick Sharpie to sign those books with.
Very good.
People don't usually know that. They do it in pen and then it sucks and it fades and
got it.
Indelible forever.
All right. I'll be the Sharpie Pro. I'll buy a 12-pack and then I'll just have a 4 a.m. signing party when we get them back.
Yeah, that is so you, having 12 different Sharpies. He's like the Energizer Bunny. Thank you, Merrill.
Thank you so much for having me on. Listeners, you have an amazing woman. Thank you, Juliet, for everything. And guys, I want to see you at the next boot camp because your life will never be the same.